Good afternoon, members. It is 2:30. This is scheduled time to make a start. I now call the meeting of the House Committee to order. All right, item number 1, confirmation of verbatim transcript of minutes of meetings, and there are 2 copies there. Number 1, verbatim transcript of special meeting held on November the 9th, 2016, and B, minutes of the 7th meeting held on November 25th, 2016. I have not received any proposed amendments. Can I take the minutes as read? All right then. Item number 2, matters arising. Report on meeting with the CS. There is nothing much to report to members. Number 3, business arising from previous council meetings. A, Legal Service Division report on bill referred to the House in accordance with Rule 54.4. Fire Services Amendment Bill 2016. Legal advisor, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. Paper LS 13/16 to 17. The bill seeks to amend the Fire Services Ordinance so that the registered fire engineers can conduct risk assessment. At the 5th term, this was introduced to the Council, although this enactment wasn't completed, and this is reintroduced to the Council. On the 11th of November, the Security Panel was briefed on the bill, and members expressed some concerns. I think that members might wish to set up a Bills Committee to scrutinize the bill. All right, Bills Committee. Dr. Edward Yu proposes. Any seconder? Any member wishing to join? The clerk will jot down the names and refer to circulation. B, Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation, gazetted on November 25th. Legal advisor, please. LS 12/1617. There are 7 items there altogether. The first one is Pharmacy and Poisons Amendment number 5, Regulation 2016. This is to amend the Pharmacy and Poisons regulations to include or to add 6 substances, so that in terms of sale, supply, labeling, and storage, there will be certain restrictions. According to the administration, these substances are used to treat reflux and also lung cancer, and this has gone into effect on the 25th of November. Right, any need for subcommittee? Please. The next 2 have to do with solicitors' practice. The first one is Solicitors' Professional Indemnity Amendment Rules 2016 and also Solicitors' Practice Amendment Rules 2016. And this is to amend the Solicitors' Professional Indemnity Rules to expand the Solicitors' Indemnity Fund to cover the alternative dispute resolution procedure, the China appointed attesting officer, and civil celebrant of marriages. And the other one is to correct the Chinese rendition of CAAO to 中國委託公證人. And this will come into operation on the same day, to be appointed by the President of the Society by notice in the Gazette. And the HLS panel has not been consulted. The Vice Chairman proposes a subcommittee, and a member wishing to join, and the seconder, Mr. Alvin Young. All right, and there will be further circulation by the clerk. The next one is a commencement notice, Dutiable Commodities Amendment Regulation 2014 commencement notice. This is to appoint January 27th as the day on which this will come into operation, and this is to introduce an electronic system for processing application for licenses for the import, export, manufacture, and storage of alcoholic liquors, tobacco, hydrocarbon oil, and methyl alcohol, there will be 6-month transition period in which the applicant can make the application in paper form, and the FA panel was not consulted. SE, that's the Dutiable Commodities Amendment Regulation 2014 commencement notice. No. Next, number 5, legal advisor, Public Health, Animals and Birds, Animal Traders Amendment Regulation 2016 commencement notice. This is to appoint March the 20th, 2017 as the day the Public Health, Animals and Birds, Animal Traders Regulation comes into operation, and this is in relation to regulation of animal trading and dog breeding activities. In the 5th term, a subcommittee was formed to scrutinize the regulation. Members expressed various concerns. In particular, these might produce an unintended effect of legalizing private breeding of dogs. And the FEP has not been consulted. Ms. Claudia Mo, SC. All right. Any seconder and any member wishing to join? There will be further circulation. Legal advisor, please. Last 2, Madam Chair. United Nations Sanctions Iran Regulation, Repeal Regulation, and United Nations Sanctions Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action Iran Regulation. And this is to implement the resolutions of the UN about a range of sanctions against Iran, and this has gone into effect on the 25th of November. And these 2 pieces don't have to be submitted to the Council for scrutiny, and there will be no power to make any amendment. Perhaps the members might wish to refer these to the subcommittee chaired by Mr. Kenneth Leung to follow up. All right, as per usual practice, those 2 pieces of subsidiary legislation will be referred to the subcommittee on UN sanction for scrutiny. All right, let's proceed according to usual practice. For items 1 and 4, without subcommittee being formed, they have been submitted to the Council on the 30th of November. For amendment, the deadline is at the 14th of December. I've also sought members' agreement. Item 3, 4 and 5. On the 7th of December, I've been moving a motion for the amendment period to be extended to the 18th of January 2017. All right, that's according to the usual practice. I've been moving the motion. Item 4, further business for the Council meeting of December 7th. A, tabling of papers. Report number 6/1617 of the House Committee on consideration of subsidiary legislation and other instruments. And there are 3 items. The deadline for amendment will expire on the 7th of December. No members indicated an intention to speak. B, question. Mr. James Toh has replaced his oral question. Item 5, business for the Council meeting of December 14th. A, questions. We have 22 questions, 6 oral and 16 written. B, bill. First reading and moving of second reading. Arbitration Amendment Bill 2016. We'll deal with this on the 16th of December. No government motion, members' motions. The first one is by Dr. Lau Siu Lai on formulating a territory-wide long-term bazaar policy. The second one is by Mr. Ip Kin Yuen on the prerequisites for the next Secretary for Education. If members wish to make amendments, the deadline is the 7th of December, Wednesday. position of bills, committees, and subcommittees. Well, there are 6 items. For negative vetting, if members wish to speak, please notify the Secretariat no later than Tuesday. As of the 1st of December, Thursday, there is 1 Bills Committee and 9 subcommittees under the House and 5 subcommittees under the panels that are currently in action. There are 5 subcommittees to do with policy that is in the queue. No AOB items. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.